Hello again. So what's it going to be? Are you going to follow man-made festivals or man-decided festivals like Easter with fluffy little bunnies and Easter eggs? Or are you going to follow what God set in place in the planets, in the moon specifically, to show us when he has his choice of appointments with his people? Now, I know many of you think, well, this is Jewish stuff. It is not Jewish stuff. Just to remind you, Jesus is, was, and forever will be a Jew. Christianity grew out of the root of Judaism. Jesus came to fulfill the law. He's a Jew. As I've said in another video, we've made Jesus into a blonde superstar. And it's not right. God set the planets into orbit way before creation. His mathematical brilliance put all the planets and the moon to circulate the earth and the earth to circulate the sun and so on, and all the planets to be in place so that the people on the earth could read the sky if they knew what they were doing. And so God made it real easy. He said that the feasts or the appointed times would normally be on a new moon or a full moon. Now, let me just remind you what the feasts are that are coming up. This is spring. I'm in the northern hemisphere. So in the spring feasts, Passover. Now, we've just had the first of Nisan. I'm looking to one side because I've got my Jewish calendar here. Nisan 1 was on Saturday, April the 2nd. And now we're waiting for Nisan 14, which is on the 15th of April. That is in a few days' time. We're now on the, the 4th of April. So it's in another week or a few more days, about 10 days. On the 14th of Nisan, God spoke to Moses on the 1st of Nisan and said, in 14 days you kill a lamb and put the blood on the doorposts and the lintel, and that will save you from the angel of death when you're coming out of Egypt. Now, that was the first of the feasts. And then God inaugurated, you can read about this in Leviticus 23, I'll leave you to look it up. God said, these are the feasts, these are my feasts. These are not Jewish feasts, these are my feasts. I make myself available to meet my people, and special things happen on special feast days. This word feast is wrong because feast to us tells us it's food. It's nothing to do with food. Moedim is a divine appointment, a convocation, as I previously said. When you are convoqué in French, or convoked, I don't know what the English is, you are called, you are summoned. That's the word in English, summons. If I've got a summons, I've got to go because it's police or law or a fine if I don't go. God has made a summons to his people to celebrate the feasts or the convocations or the divine appointments. And the first one, Passover, is coming up. Now, what are you going to do? You're in a church or a group, and Easter is coming. Wow, better get the kids some chocolate, eggs and stuff, as I've just said. Easter is not on God's calendar. Yes, I really did say that. Passover is on his calendar. Following Passover, on the 15th day of Nisan, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Leaven speaks of sin. This is the time when Jesus was in the tomb. He was dead in the tomb because of our sin. He was carrying our sin. And then on the 16th of Nisan is first fruits. Paul talks about Jesus' resurrection being like the first fruit, because he's the first one who was raised from the dead. But we will be raised from the dead. Amen? In fact, my new nature is a cause of that. I've received his new nature. That's when I was born again. That's when you were born again. If we died with Christ, we shall rise with Christ. Romans 6. So Jesus was the first fruits. He fulfilled all these spring or early year feasts. He accomplished them. And then, of course, after Passover, 50 days go by, and you're into Pentecost. Now, I don't know whether in your situation, in your country, wherever you're watching, you're going to have a real good time of flowing against the tide, because your religious traditions, oh, we don't have that. What if it's China? Could be the year of the dog or the year of the chicken or whatever. And it could be anything. People set their own calendars. Throw them away. Follow God's calendar. Listen, if I say I'm going to meet you at a certain time and at a certain place, and I'm on the wrong calendar, we're not going to make it together, are we? We're not going to have that fellowship together. We need to get on God's calendar and to celebrate and make sure we keep his divine appointments. So, Passover coming up on the 15th of April, and then Unleavened Bread on the 16th of April, and First Fruits on the 17th of April. That is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of Nisan. Now, what you do, it's your personal decision, it's your personal conscience, but you're going to have fun, I can tell you, if you start telling people in your church that you are going to follow God's appointed time, not their traditional appointed times. All right, so happy Passover.